Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to a Functional Fitness for Friday and Guided Breathing. Jazzy here, and I have a good workout planned out for us today. We're going to do 3 rounds, 45, 15, and we got everything mixed in there. So I'm going to do a very quick demo, just going through everything very quick, and then we'll warm up and we'll get right into it. So first movement here, we're going to be on the ground. We're going to be doing a single leg push-up. We're going to alternate here between the single leg. So we're getting into our push-up position. Squeeze your glute, 1 foot in the air, come down, and then the other side. So we're alternating between those two. So that's our first movement. And then our second movement, we're going to stand on up. We're going to do a single leg Romanian deadlift. But the way we're going to do this here, so we're putting all of our weight into one of our feet. We're going to push our hips back. We're going to stay nice and long. We're going to explode up and we're going to hold here in this position. So we're coming back down, push the hips back, nice and slow, and exploding on up. So we're going to do all on one leg and then switching to the other leg. We can always bring our toe down to our kickstand, pushing our hips back, but then as we come up, we still want to drive the knee up because that's going to work our core, and we're going to hold that, so that will help with balance. And after that, we're going to get back on the ground. We're going to do plank rotations here, so you can either be hands and knees or hands and toes, and we're going to open up towards one hand towards the ceiling, back down, and then the other hand coming up, rotating, and back down. So we'll alternate between that. And then the last movement here will be on our back. And we're going to do 90-90 heel taps here. So we're going to have our knees above our hips. One heel, come down, exhale, pull the knee back in, exhale as we come up. So we'll be tapping gently our heels and then pulling back up with our core. So that is going to be our circuit today. So we're going to do that 3 times. So first off, we're going to start off with our warm up here, and we're actually going to start with the world's greatest stretch. So we're going to take our knee in the top of our space. We're going to pull our knee towards our chest. Nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, step back, reverse lunge. Back leg is going to stay nice and straight. Hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Breathing into our belly here. We're feeling our hips expand. We're allowing them to open up. We're going to do one more breath here. And we're going to exhale, opening up towards our front leg. Thumb is going to face our back. So we're looking at our palm here. Going to help us open up our back just a little extra. And on our next exhale, we're going to go ahead and plant our hand outside of our front foot. Bring our back leg a little bit closer. Push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. Breathing into those tight areas here. One more breath. And we're going to exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So interlace our fingers, grab onto the opposite knee, pull your knee towards your chest. Breathing into our belly here, nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, step back, reverse lunge. Hands are going to come down inside of our front foot. Keeping that back leg nice and straight. Nice big deep breath here. And on our exhale, opening up towards our front leg, thumb facing behind us, so we're looking at our palm. Breathing into the belly, breathe into those tight areas here. And on our next exhale, plant your hand outside of your back, or your front foot, goodness. Push your hips up, bring your back foot a little bit closer. Breathing into our tight areas here. And on our next exhale, we're going to go ahead and bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right, last part of our warm up here, we're going to do some rotation. So there's 2 options for this one. So option number 1 is to push your hips back into a forward fold, bringing your hands out in front and opening up towards the ceiling and back down. Or you can get into your deep squat and we're going to rotate that way. So whatever feels more comfortable, I'm going to do this one to open up my hips a little bit more And we're going to do a few on each side. So we're going to exhale. We're going to open up, rotating behind us, looking at our hand. And back down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, opening up. This side is really tight today. And back. We're going to do 2 more on each side. So opening up. And back down. And exhaling, opening up. And back. And we got 1 more on each side, opening up. And back. And last one here, opening up. And back to our starting position. And if you're in your deep squat, go ahead, push your hips up towards the ceiling, hang out there for a second, and then we'll go ahead and stand up. We are ready to rock and roll. So let me open my blinds here real quick. I feel like it is really dark in here, even with all of my lights on. So here we go. We got that opened up. All right. Oh yeah, that's a lot better there. Okay. So I'm going to get the timer going here. We're starting with single leg push-ups and we're going to alternate there. We're going to get the timer ready here. 3, 2, 1, and go. So starting with on our hands and toes, we're going to screw our hands into the ground to help our upper back be nice and tight here. We're going to stick one leg up or squeeze our glute. We're going to bring our chest down, push the ground away, and then the other leg. If pushing yourself back up is not happening today, we can do our slow eccentric push-up where we stick our leg up, coming down nice and slow and getting up however we need to. And then the other leg. I know we did a lot of push-ups yesterday. So listen to your body. If you need to, drop down to your hands and knees. 3, 2, 1. I think I might have to do regular kneeling push-ups. I'm a little sore from yesterday. All right, we're going to stand up. We're getting ready for our single leg Romanian deadlifts here into our knee drive and hold. 3, 2, 1. We have butt to belly button here, keeping our core nice and tight, sinking into our hips. So our hips are pushing the door closed behind us, and then we're pushing the ground away. We're driving up and we're holding here for a few seconds. So we're going to come back down nice and slow, push the hips back, exhale, explode up, hold for 3 seconds, 3, and then again. So if you need to, bring your other foot to the ground for the kickstand, feel free to do that. This one, we're working on strengthening our hip flexors and our core by holding that knee up, which is great for running mechanics. 3, 2, 1. All right, awesome job. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And again, if you'd like, put that toe on the ground for more of the kickstand here, whatever feels good for you today. 3, 2, 1. I always say, this is like my Friday speech. Listen to your body. So if you're feeling sore or something's not feeling right for you in this movement or the push-ups, for example, any movement today that doesn't feel good, listen to your body. Don't push through because you might end up injuring yourself or making it worse. So if it's okay to do that, like if it's not injured and you're feeling okay and you want to push, go for it. But if you do that every day when you're sore or tired, we're going to dig ourselves into our recovery hole. So we want to make sure we're listening to our bodies, doing what feels right. 3, 2, 1. Because also what feels good for me might not feel good for you and vice versa. Because today nothing feels good. All right, we're getting back on the ground. We're going to do plank rotations. 3, 2, 1. So screwing our hands into the ground again, hands and toes, opening up towards the ceiling and back down. This one you can also do from your knees. This is going to help us with our single arm stability since all of our weight is on one hand. We're also working on our rotation of our spine, which does not get worked enough, which is why I love doing things like this and any rotational movement like the warm-up we just did. Definitely good to work on that. So we help with our spine health and mobility. Great job. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right. We're going to go ahead and make our way onto our back. We're going to do our 90-90 heel taps. If you have weight today and you'd like to do a core assist, feel free to do that. I'll demo that for us right now. 3, 2, 1. So if you have weights, feel free. You can always hold them above your hands. Make sure I'm in view here. Tap one heel down, exhale, come back up. So we're pulling with our core. We're breathing through a straw. We're trying to use our core versus the hip flexors to pull the legs back in. I like to imagine I have a zipper at the bottom of my core, and I'm zipping each side of my six pack together. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, round 1 is done. We got 2 more of those to go. And then we're going to do our cool down and some breathing. So we're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. So single leg push-ups alternating here. So you can do a nice and slow. Get up however you need to. Or you can be like me in a few seconds and switch to doing it on our hands and knees. It's definitely always hard to do push-ups. When we did quite a few push-ups yesterday, and also we did a lot of planks, and of course I did chest this morning. So these are not feeling so hot right now. And that's what I mean too by listen to your body. 3, 2, 1. I probably would be able to do that a little better if we didn't do a similar thing yesterday. So do what you can today, but still push yourself within your limits here. We have single leg Romanian deadlifts. 3, 2, 1. If you would like to also make this a little bit more challenging, feel free. You can grab dumbbells if you would like. I like to do these body weight partially because my balance is not so good, but also when we are exploding, I find it helpful to have our hands to use. So if you notice, I'm coming back down, my left arm is in front because I'm using my right leg. And as I drive my left knee up, my right hand comes up as well. So again, helping with the running mechanics, making it more directly translatable to real life. 3, 2, 1. But if the arms don't help you or you're not a runner, I'm not a runner either, you can always grab weights to help with the explosiveness as well. All right, other leg. 3, 2, 1. So really make sure we're sinking into our hips here. So we have a bend in the knee, our hips are pushing back. We're pushing our hips back like we're closing a door, driving through our heel, and then driving our knee up. So if we pretend like we have a plane of glass here, drive that knee up, break that glass, and really focus on pushing our hips back. I need to do a little kickstand here. Oh goodness, my balance is going. See, just like I just said, my balance is not so good sometimes. I do find it easier to balance when we are not wearing shoes or if we have flat shoes on. 3, 2, 1. If we have flat shoes, like I always lift in Converse or Vans, our foot contact with the ground is going to be better than with like a curved shoe. All right, we got plank rotations. 3, 2, 1. Because what happens too, if you have like a running shoe, our foot is not going to be able to make as good of contact with the ground. And all of our movement starts with how our feet connect with the ground. I mean, in this case, more so our hands, but that's really the basis of all movement is our feet. So I do personally like to do more lifts in flat shoes, or right now that I'm at home, I can teach in socks or barefoot And personally, I find it a little bit easier to move that way. So if you want to try it out or you have questions about it, let me know. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right, last movement, and then we got one more round. We're going to do our heel taps here. And again, if you would like to do a core assist, grab your weights. 3, 2, 1. So having the weights above our shoulders like this, it forces us to use our core a little bit more. So if you're not necessarily feeling it in your core, or you're not sure if you're using your core, you can always grab the weights, and that can kind of help decipher through that. Okay. Those RDLs are not, my hip is not happy. Okay. And then exhale like we're breathing through a straw. I don't know why my hip is not having it today. We all have those days where our body doesn't want to do anything. 3, 2, 1. All right, awesome job. We got one more round to go. So we're going to do our single leg push-ups, alternating our feet here. 3, 2, 1. I do also have to say, I can feel it. My core is very sore from yesterday. Like I always say, I am not a fan of core work or push-ups. And anytime I do core in these classes, that's what really gets my core firing. So this is our last round though of this. We want to finish strong, push ourselves to do a little bit better than we did last time. I'm trying not to go on my hands and knees for this last round. It's our last round here, keeping our core engaged, hands screwed into the ground. Try and get 1 to 2 more in. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those. Thank goodness, right? We're gonna go ahead. We got single leg Romanian deadlifts here. And then we'll get back on the ground. Then we'll cool down and we'll breathe. 3, 2, 1. Make sure I'm not going to kick the wall this time. So pushing our hips back, making sure that when our hips are done moving, the movement is done. So I think I was saying this, was that yesterday? When our chest comes too far forward, we're going to feel that in our back. So the minute our hips are done moving backwards, we're done with the movement. So sink into our hip. My balance is really not having it on this leg today. Normally my left leg is stronger. 3, 2, 1. Because just like with our arms, we usually will have one dominant leg. For me, I'm right-handed, but my left leg is my dominant leg. I blame softball. Getting ready for the other leg. 3, 2, 1. So push your hips back. Push the ground away. Really making sure too that as we are going into our RDL here, our headlights on our hips are blinding the ground. We're not opened up here. We're staying nice and even through our back, and our leg is like an extension of our hip. We're trying to keep our headlights down so both hips and both shoulders are facing the ground. Key here, anti-rotation, working our core. We're in the core, the hamstrings, the glutes, the hip flexors. We're hitting it all with this one today. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done with those officially. Back on the ground, we got plank rotations, and then our heel taps. And then we're gonna be on the ground for our cool down. 3, 2, 1. And we are going to do some bretzel here to cool down because we did rotation in this movement. Today we did rotation. We did a lot of glutes. We did some hip flexors. So we need to open all of those up before we go into our breathing here at the end of class. We're going to work on our breathing here to reset our nervous system. calm the body down, calm our mind down before we go and eat and get back to work, or before we're done for the end of the day, because it is Focus Friday. So hopefully we'll all take time to recover during that today. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last movement coming up, 90-90 heel taps. Again, if you'd like those dumbbells for your core assist, feel free to grab those. 3, 2, 1. All right. So knees are above our hips. Let me see if I can stretch out my hip to make sure. I'm going to use my core. I'm not going to use the dumbbells this time. Just focusing on going nice and slow here. Breathe through your straw. That's going to bring everything down and together. And much like I was saying too with the zipper, as we breathe through the straw, it's just going to bring all of everything in the front of our core together. We're finishing strong. Last movement of the day here. Great job. 3, 2, 1. And that is it for today's circuit. So go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. And like I said, we're gonna do pretzels. So make your way to the ground, starting on whichever side you'd like. Let me move my camera down a little bit more. There we go. So you can start on whichever side you like. We'll start on this side here. And our checklist for our pretzel here, we're gonna take our top leg, we're gonna come up, over and across our body. Knee and ankle are gonna stay on the ground. Bottom hand is going on top of our knee. Our top hand is gonna grab onto our bottom foot or ankle. If you need to grab a band or a blanket or a towel or anything to grab on, feel free. We're gonna inhale to prepare. And we're gonna exhale, bringing our top shoulder towards the ground. And then this is where we can start to slow our breath down. We're inhaling in through our nose and into our belly. And exhaling, sighing away our tension we feel throughout our bodies. Really let your body sink into the stretch, into the ground with each exhale. And let's go ahead and do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently release our bottom leg, make our way back to our side. And then we're gonna go ahead and roll over onto our other side here. Our checklist is gonna be the same. So we're gonna take our top leg, we're gonna come up, over and across. Knee and ankle are gonna stay on the ground. Bottom hand on top of our knee. Top hand is gonna grab onto the bottom foot or ankle. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, bringing our top shoulder towards the ground. Same thing, we're breathing in through our nose, into our bellies, and then exhaling through our mouth, sighing away our tension. Letting your body sink further into the ground with each exhale. And let's go ahead and do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently release our bottom leg. And from here, we're going to go ahead and roll over onto our backs for a little bit of some breathing here. And what I always like to do, we're going to take our right hand, place it over your stomach here, over your diaphragm. Our left hand, you're going to place over your heart. And this is going to help us really breathe through our diaphragm or take those big belly breaths. When we use that muscle, it's going to help inflate our lungs to get a deeper breath versus breathing into the chest. So we really want our right hand to rise either more or before our other hand here. So we're going to just do a few breaths here, really practice breathing into your diaphragm here. Really make the right hand rise. When we breathe into our belly, that's really what helps us calm our body down and go into our sympathetic nervous system, into the parasympathetic nervous system. So fight or flight, into rest and digest. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of a tempo here. So we're going to inhale for 5 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds. And we're going to exhale for 8 seconds. So I'll go ahead and count that out for us. So we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So go ahead and keep that tempo as much as you can. The point is that we're making our exhale longer than our inhale, and that's what's going to help us get into our rest and digest. So our heart rate is going to lower, our digestive system is going to amp up, which is going to help us get ready to eat lunch after this. And when we get our body into the parasympathetic state, our mind is going to follow. So this is a great technique to practice when we have times of stress throughout the day, or if we are trying to calm down at the end of the day, anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and be quiet while we breathe for a little bit. And let's go ahead and do one more round of our breath wherever we're at. And after that last exhale, feel free, you can keep, practicing the breathing as we finish up, or you can start to wake your body up, wiggling your fingers and toes, moving your head side to side. And then making your way slowly onto your side and then to a seated, kneeling, or standing position. But that is going to be all the time for today's class. So thank y'all for joining me. If you didn't see it, we do have our next challenge, which is the Winter Warrior Walking Challenge. That registration is gonna open on Monday, and it's just a walking challenge. All the information is up on SharePoint. If you have any questions about it, let me know. But we got that starting up here soon. So hopefully both of y'all will join. But thank you for coming to class. Great job. And I will see you next week.